Hi, my name is Valerie, and I am making my fourth video on my no-poo experience. So my first shower was on June 1st, and it used baking soda and apple cider vinegar, like I think most everybody starts out with. And we learned that that was very drying to our hair. My last shower was on June 9th, where I used just tea and apple cider vinegar as a conditioner. And we learned that even though it feels really nice in our hair and it has some nice benefits, it doesn't really take a lot of the oils and other items out of your hair. And you should probably use glycerin in your tea to help pull those oils and dirts and other things out of your hair. My shower that I am taking this time is on June 13th, and I'm going to be using a rye flour recipe, but I'm going to use quinoa flour because I want to see if a gluten-free alternative will work just as well. And I'm really excited to try that because it's supposed to be very good at pulling oils out of your hair, which is what we need. And it's also supposed to be, because it's got little pieces in there, it's supposed to be good for scrubbing at your scalp and getting, buildup off of your hair. Another thing that I'm going to try is I was doing research about brushes, and a lot of people say that the boar bristle brush is really helpful. This one is called Authentic Barber Series Grooming Boar Brush. It's double-sided. One side is very stiff bristles and one side is very soft bristles. And with very fine hair, apparently the soft bristles are what you want. And if you don't want to use one that is made with animal hair, you can apparently get brushes with bristles that are made from plant fibers. They do cost a little bit more, but I couldn't find them when I was at Target or Walmart. So you may have to do a little bit of hunting if you want to get one of those. So these brushes are supposed to be very good for pulling the oils down through your hair and distributing it, as well as getting the tangles out without breaking your hair too much. I've always been kind of wary of these. When I was younger, I had a family and friends who had these and they loved them, but they always were full of hair that people never bothered to take out, and I always thought they kind of just looked gross on people's counters like that. But I guess if I take my time and I take care of the brush as well as my hair, then maybe that won't be such a problem. We'll see how it goes, but I am excited to see if this helps to make my hair a little healthier looking, because it's all supposed to stimulate the scalp in a softer way than scrubbing at your hair with your fingers. Not that you shouldn't in the shower, it helps get your head clean, but in between showers, this is supposed to be really helpful for that same purpose. So let's see how everything goes. As we can see, just using water did not work as well as I'd hoped it would. The first picture is from the 10th, and that is the day after I did my tea rinse. And the color still looks a little bit dark from leftover oils in my hair that didn't all come out. The next picture is from the 11th, and the majority of the oils seem to come out. My hair looks a lot lighter, but as you can tell, my hair still has the tracks in it from being combed. And about this time, I noticed that around the ponytail area of my hair, like where I would put a ponytail holder in, it was really like a sticky, like a resistance in my hair, there was something in it, and it was kind of gross to feel. And then the last picture on the 12th, you could see that it just, the amount of that sticky substance just accumulated very quickly. And it made my hair very dark, probably because it also trapped a bunch of extra oil in my hair. And it was a bit difficult to brush. I had to be careful not to just run the comb all the way through my hair. I had to comb it out and like from the bottom, working my way up. And this sticky substance, like I would run my hands over my hair and I could feel a layer of it on my hands just from running it over my hair. I would run my comb through my hair and I would just get this buildup on my comb. The sticky substance was easily coming off, and I decided to read up on it because there are plenty of other people who use water only to clean their hair. And it turns out it's called waxy hair or hair wax, and it's just a buildup of minerals from the water you use to wash your hair. That just goes to show with those 3 pictures that if you use a certain type of water, it can affect how your hair looks when you go to clean it. An option to use is filtered water or spring water or a distilled water even, and that will help to prevent that waxy buildup in your hair and make your hair look a lot cleaner. The other thing is people who wash with water only usually wash maybe twice a week, and they try to get further and further apart with their washings. So eventually, if you keep it up, you can get to washing your hair maybe once a month or even longer maybe. So I think this is definitely plausible and doable, but it depends on the water you have available to you. So the waxy buildup in my hair is very thick around my scalp and down to where I would hold the ponytail. It's a lot less down near the ends of my hair, but there might be a few spots where some of it got all the way down. I noticed that combing it tends to pull out a lot of that, which could be helpful for trying to make less of it build up in your hair between showers if you shower with water only. And it definitely doesn't feel pleasant. It's got kind of like a resistant sticky texture, and when I play with it or if I walk around, it gets messed up looking very easy, so I have to comb it more often to make it look nice, you know, like nice and flat or straight. And I am excited to scrub this out of my hair today. So today we are going to do what's called the rice flour method, or the gram flour method, or I guess just the flour method. Usually you would take rye flour or gram flour, also known as chickpea flour, mix it with water enough to make like a shampoo type paste, and then you would rub that into your hair to scrub out all of the oil and other things that are in your hair. And then you would use something like apple cider vinegar or some other very conditioning item to, bring some moisture back in, because the flour is supposed to be very good at absorbing oils, which obviously can dry out your hair a little bit. I am using quinoa flour because 1, that's what I have, and 2, I know that there's a lot of people out there who might be gluten-free, and I want to see if using quinoa on my hair will work just as well as any other flour that you could buy. So I have my quinoa flour already measured out, I have 2 tablespoons in my infamous orange cup. And then I already have 1 tablespoon of apple cider vinegar measured out and mixed with water in my little green spray bottle. So I'm just gonna take some water and I'm just gonna pour some in and mix it up. I actually have a different spoon that I'm gonna use for mixing. And I am hoping to just make a very thin paste to put in my hair. Now, the one thing that I don't agree on is people who do this, they tend to just rinse it out in the shower. And if you're putting flour down your drain, that might cause some issues. Ooh, maybe I put too much water in here. This is very runny. I guess you don't need that much water after all. But that's okay. So instead of putting it down the drain, as I was going to say, I'm going to rinse it out in a bowl and then I'm going to dump it outside in the grass, because that way it can just decompose outside rather than causing problems for my drain. This is very runny. I recommend putting a little water in at a time. So that is the process that we're going to use today. I'm going to put this in my hair while it's, I probably will dampen my hair first. Scrub this in, rinse it out in a bowl, and then when I go to actually get in the shower, I will spray the apple cider vinegar in my hair and rinse that out, and my hair should be nice and clean by the end of this. So 2 tablespoons of flour was not enough to cover all of my hair. I got all the really important spots and I was able to scrub really good at my scalp, but I definitely think next time I'll have to try 3 tablespoons instead of just 2 to see if I can get full coverage of my hair. It was kind of like putting a sandy slurry into my hair, and while it went in fine, when I went to go scrub it, I could feel all the little particles of the flour in my hair and it actually felt really good. And when I was scrubbing at it, any parts that had dried out would fall into the bottom of the tub, and it kind of sounded like sand. Like if you had just come back from the beach and was trying to get yourself dried off or cleaned off from all the sand at the beach. But I really enjoyed scrubbing at my hair and trying to get those waxy patches out. After I did that, I put the apple cider vinegar in my hair, and when I rinsed that out, my hair felt really soft and smooth. So I'm really excited to find out how my hair looks when it's dry. My hair is now dry after scrubbing it with a flour water mixture, and it feels pretty good. There is still some of that wax buildup in my hair, and it still does look a little bit dark, but it feels a lot cleaner. And I noticed when I was combing it out after it had started to dry that there were little bits and pieces of the quinoa flour that was still in my hair, and that's just from my lack of rinsing out really well. But overall, I think it did a pretty good job at making my hair clean.